The Dodgers vented their frustrations last night as Adrian Gonzalez went 3 for 4, hitting his first home run in 3 weeks. Yasmani Grandal defied the shift in his first at-bat, but in his next 2 at-bats, no shift could contain him. Justin Turner, now at .333, cracked his 9th home run of the year, and then last night's long journey into day began. After routing the Giants, the Dodgers beat the Sunrise in Chicago, but not by much. On not a lot of sleep, the Dodgers begin their longest road trip of the season with the right guy leading the charge tonight. It's a beautiful night for baseball. And live from Wrigley Field in Chicago, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs in the first of a 4-game series. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Oral Hershiser, Nomar Garciaparra. As mentioned, the Dodgers ace, Clayton Kershaw, is going to pitch tonight, but he's also coming off, Oral, what he calls the most frustrating performance of his career.
Frustrating because he's had double-digit strikeout stuff. He has absolutely struck out a ton of guys in the last 3 games. He's struck out double digits in each one. Last year, 7 times he did it. He's already done it 6 times this year. And you look at what's happened in the first 10 starts. That's the first column in every category. To the next 4 starts, he is really on a roll, but he needs to be on a roll a little bit better. And the way to get on that roll, Nomar, is to get him some more run support.
Well, hopefully the Dodgers have some runs left over after the display yesterday against the Giants and putting up a 10 spot. And the key is certain guys coming out of the slumps. One of those guys, Adrian Gonzalez, who was hitting 111 in the last 14 games prior to yesterday. And one guy who wasn't in the slump, has not been in the slump this year or last year, that's Justin Turner. And Yasmani Grandal contributing with not 1 but 2 home runs in last night's game. He's not starting today, mixing him off the bench, but nonetheless, they need to come out swinging.
Clayton Kershaw in search of his 6th win of the year. Dodgers and Cubs are coming up next. Eyes overhead as we get ready for the first of this 4-game series. The Dodgers and the Cubs in our closed captioning, brought to you by Shumash Casino Resort, where we are all about you. And the Dodgers begin now a 10-game road trip. 4 in a row here. This weekend they'll be in Miami. Next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in the desert against the Diamondbacks. And it'll be Yasiel Puig, Jock Peterson, and Justin Turner to lead it off against 24-year-old right-hander Yoshi Wada, making his 7th start.
And coming off his best start where he threw 7 scoreless innings, he features a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup with an occasional cutter. And his fastball, there's couple of things that go with it. 1, there's some deception, and 2, there's late life. So the 88-mile-per-hour average seems a lot harder than what it is.
So here's the first pitch of the ball game. And Puig, a notorious first ball swinger, comes up empty. Puig at .313 with 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in. He has fared well here at Wrigley. He has fared well in general against the Cubs. Wada misses high and inside. A ball and a strike. The Cubs at 37-30. They're 9 games better than they were this time a year ago. The Dodgers begin the night a game and a half in front of the Giants as Puig swings and misses. And it's 1-2. Joe Maddon. He has turned things around here in Chicago. You know, the Cubs have not had a winning season since 2009. So they're sitting pretty, although 7 games behind the Cardinals in the Central Division.
Wada not afraid to throw his fastball to Yasiel. As aggressive as Yasiel is, he's got to enjoy seeing some fastballs in the high 80s from the lefty.
Well, Wada talked about that in his last outing. The difference was how much he threw that fastball, how aggressive he was on the hill, really attacking batters, something that Joe Maddon had talked to him about.
Making but his 7th start of the year. In the left center field. And that's Dexter Fowler. Now Don Mattingly has put the Honda batting order together this way tonight with Puig and Peterson and Justin Turner. Turner's been on fire since being inserted into the number 3 spot. Gonzalez a good day yesterday. Kendrick batting 5th. Van Slyke, Kike Hernandez, A.J. Ellis, and Clayton Kershaw to bat. Boy, Justin Turner has just been red hot. Jock Peterson steps in. Jock with 18 home runs has got 35 runs batted in. Peterson hit his 18th on Saturday at Dodger Stadium. Yasiel Puig, on the second to the last swing that he took, grimaced at the plate. Precisely what he did and how he did it, don't know. But Stan Conti's having a good quick look-see.
Looks like he's had a callus or a blister pop on his bottom hand where the knob of the bat is.
There's some blood there. Of course, calluses and blisters were an issue for Andre Ethier for a couple of years. The 1-2 to Peterson. Ball, strike 3 at the knees. That is where it happened.
Yasiel has the knob of the bat down there in his palm and the way he grips it.
Yeah, and you heard Charlie mention talking about Andre Ethier. It's funny because when I first saw and they were showing a hand there that was bloody, my thought was, is that Andre? He's not in the lineup, because I know he's dealt with those issues, and obviously for the same reason is where that knob is.
Now Turner, first ball swinging, bounces to Castro, and Wada's got an easy 1-2-3 in it. Well, here's Clayton Kershaw getting ready for his 15th start of the year in search of his 6th win. He'll be facing Fowler, Rizzo, and Bryant in the bottom of the 1st. Of this great Cub franchise, and he's got his team off and running 37-30. They haven't had a winning record since 2009, and here's the Honda lineup that's put together by Madden with Fowler and Rizzo and Bryant. Looking forward to seeing that big power hitting third baseman. Castro, DeNorfia, Matt Caesar just called up today. David Ross, the one-time Dodger. Yoshi Wada, the pitcher, batting 8th. Addison Russell at second base, batting 9th against that guy.
Clayton Kershaw on the mound, and he's on a roll as far as the K's in Kershaw, double figures, and against a Cub lineup that has a tendency to strike out a lot. He's probably going to surpass that again tonight.
As Fowler leads it off at 238, he has struck out 64 times. This Cub team has averaged 9.5 strikeouts per game, and Kershaw has averaged almost 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. There is a strike. Kershaw quickly ahead, 0-2.
Clayton's double-digit strikeout games last year on the MVP Cy Young year, 7. This year already 6. This being the 15th start. So he's got the strikeout pitch working this year, even over the tallies of last year.
He's had 35 double-digit strikeout games in his career. Koufax, by way of comparison, had 92. Well, there's your first strikeout of the night. Defensively behind Kershaw, with Van Slyke in left field, Jock Peterson in center. Memo to Peterson, these walls are not padded. Yasiel Puig in right. Turner, Kike Hernandez gives Jimmy Rollins a night off at short. Kendrick at second, Gonzalez at first. A.J. Ellis is behind the plate. Kershaw in 93 innings has now struck out 123 batters. Anthony Rizzo. Yasiel Puig, we showed you that he injured his hand. He's apparently having difficulty with his glove out there.
He might need another fielder's glove, one that he knows is larger. It's broken in differently because he's got so much tape and bandage on that hand. He can't get his hand all the way in that glove.
Pop, blister, callus, whatever it was. There's a breaking ball for a strike. And it's 1-2. That was what Stan Conti, the cut man, had to deal with in the first inning. Now Rizzo on 1-2.
Yeah, that didn't look like a small blister right there. And that's, we'll see how long he's going to be able to deal with that out there. I mean, I was like, well, it's just a blister, but obviously in your hands and where we talked about where he holds the bat with the knob, it's going to affect it. And obviously he might need a new glove so it doesn't affect him on defense.
Rizzo on 1-2. Breaking ball whacked into right field for a base hit. Rizzo takes the turn.
Not a surprise from Anthony Rizzo to get hits off left-handed pitchers this year. He's hitting .396 off of lefties coming into this game versus left-handers. He uses a two-strike approach, Nomar, right away from the very first pitch against lefties.
And that's a great job by Anthony Rizzo. That's just signs of maturity, knowing yourself, saying, okay, I'm faced lefties. It's a different look. I may be struggling in the past against them. What do I have to do different? So what he does, he chokes up on the bat, takes a two-strike approach right when the count 0-0.
Well, here's the much talked about Chris Bryant with a fastball up around the chin. Bryant at 277 with 8 home runs and 39 runs batted in. And Starlin Castro is on deck. A couple of good-looking rookies on display tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike to Chris Bryant. The Cubs in general this year have actually hit better against left-handed pitching than they have against right-handers. Hitting .277 against southpaw pitching Madden's club hitting .240 against right-handers. A 1-1. Too late. 1-2.
Nice fastball up and in from Clayton Kershaw right there. Not so high that the batter doesn't offer at it, and not low that he can extend his arms. Just right in there, waist high, tying him up.
1-2. Bryant strikes out a lot.
Clayton probably has a little anxiety throwing to first. Had a balk called on him in his last start. As frustrating as that is, and then made the same pickoff move later in the game, and it wasn't called for a balk.
And of course, A.J. Ellis, throughout his career, has been able to throw out would-be base stealers just outside and low.
Fastball up and in, then you got him thinking inside. You try and nip that outside corner with the 94 just off the edge.
The 2-2 on the way. Now 3-2. Bryant on the year. This is rookie season. 224 at bats. He has been struck out 78 times. That's Starlin Castro on deck.
It'll be interesting with the lefty on the mound. Clayton already showing a move to first. Do they start the runner? I doubt they will.
Rizzo does have good speed. He's not going. Grounded foul. Past third base coach Gary Jones.
3-2 count with a lefty on the mound. Completely different than a righty.
That it is. And also you got a team here that's prone to striking out too. And that's also a factor that goes into it. They're not afraid to steal. You do have guys throughout this lineup who are willing to steal bases. You know, Anthony Rizzo already has 10 stolen bases. But I think with all of those factors, he might stay put.
Again, the 3-2. He will stay put. And once again, Bryant will foul it off.
I'm thinking Justin Turner needs to be down there playing no doubles the way they're pulling and hooking the ball right now. I'd be, if I was thinking about throwing an inside fastball or a slider again, I'm Clayton Kershaw. I am going to move him over there before I step on the rubber.
Chris Bryant, first round pick, second overall of the Cubs in 2013. Down on strikes. Second strikeout for Kershaw. And that'll bring up Starlin Castro.
Didn't go slider down and in, but he misses his target, but beats him to the spot. Kind of a long swing from Chris Bryant and a good fastball from Clayton as far as velocity.
So this Cub team leading the National League by a wide margin, having been struck out 9.5 times per game. Now Castro, 1 ball and no strikes.
A lot of all or nothing hitters in this lineup. They're taking the big swings, but when they come up empty, not much. But the wind blowing out here today, if they can hit some balls in the air, they got a chance to hit them out of here.
It's warm, it's humid, it's windy. Lined into center field. Jock Peterson is there and makes the catch, and that ends the inning. No runs. The Rizzo single will go to the second inning with Adrian Gonzalez, Howie Kendrick, and Scott Van Slyke due up. their stadium on fine footing with 4 home runs, 10 runs yesterday to go along with their 16 base hits. The previous 6 games, they didn't do particularly well, but they were clutch with runners in scoring position yesterday. That's our T-Mobile game changer, as Don Mattingly has his club at 39-31, a game and a half in front of the Giants. Off today, they host the Padres tomorrow. Adrian Gonzalez, a big day yesterday. Takes a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Gonzalez, 2 singles and a home run. His home run, the first one in almost 3 weeks. Up and in. .82 degrees. Chance of rain this time of year, this time of day. Always a chance of rain here. Oppressive humidity.
What a fun city to come to, though. The beautiful architecture, the lake,
the ballpark.
The ballpark, just the whole field, everything you get to do here. And it makes it even more fun if you win the series.
A lot of options.
Okay, Omar.
1 out to second base.
A lot of options. You can explain that to Mia on the way home.
Saying this city, you have a lot of options.
Yeah.
So many great places to go. They have museums, you can restaurants. Like you said, you have the lake, you have the ballpark.
Exactly.
There's theater. There's everything here.
It is,
and it's easily accessible to all the places. There's a lot of options. There you go. There's my explanation.
Georgia Tech. Huh?
There you go.
One time I was here at the hotel looking out onto the river there, and they were shooting the Batman movie.
That's what they were doing.
Cool. Yeah.
Kendrick at 285. To the right side, and Rizzo's going to take it himself. I think the whole world would live in Chicago if there was no such thing as winter.
Yeah.
That's the great equalizer. When you got the hawk blowing off the lake, you get a little rugged.
And once I wasn't going to be a Dodger for my whole life and ended up having to leave in '95, I made a plan to play in 3 cities no matter what at the end of my career, and my body gave out before I got to Chicago. But I played in San Francisco 1 year, New York 1 year, and I wanted to play for the Cubs 1 year and missed out on that. But it's a great, great city.
Van Slyke starting in left. With the lefty Wada going tonight, Ethier has the night off. On 1-1. David Ross makes the play. The veteran David Ross, an old graybeard now. He came up as a Dodger prospect a decade or more ago. That's not Batman, but it's where it was filmed. We go to the bottom of the 7th. We are seeing two of the really young studs in the National League.
Well, certainly two rising stars, both in this ballpark in this game, guys. Of course, we're talking about Jock Peterson, the rookie center fielder for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Chris Bryant, the rookie for the Chicago Cubs. Both highly touted prospects in the system, now up with the big club. Jock Peterson making his debut a little bit earlier than Chris Bryant, but you can see what they've done there so far this season. Jock with more games than Chris Bryant, because Chris Bryant wasn't called up until about a couple of weeks into the regular season. Both of these averages updated, but two very promising young stars.
Kike Hernandez leads off for the Dodgers. I'm sorry, he will be leading off. It is Chris Denorfia who is leading off for the Cubs. We were busy watching Yasiel Puig, who appears to be wearing a new glove. If you're just joining us, Puig had an injured hand, looked like a blister or something that busted open, and so you see it having been covered. It happened in his first at bat. It became a bloody mess, so he's got a new glove, presumably looser fitting. Meanwhile, it's Chris Denorfia leading it off, and Denorfia with a home run and 7 runs batted in. Chris from Bristol, Connecticut. Yep, that one. And what a solid career he has had. Denorfia will turn 35 next month. From the Reds to the Padres, Seattle, and now the Cubs. Starting in right field tonight, he and Chris Coghlan go back and forth in the outfield. Denorfia gets hit by a pitch to begin the second.
Team has a tendency to swing and miss a lot. You don't want to give them any free passes.
Clayton just spiked that one, didn't he? Wow.
Kershaw on the year now, 124 strikeouts and 24 walks. Matt Caesar's been going back and forth this year. A chopper to Turner. To Kendrick. Not in time at first. Too high a bounce for Turner.
Well, Turner has to wait for this one to come down, and he knows that. He gets his feet set right, makes a perfect throw to Howie Kendrick. Watch Caesar just hustle out of the box, like trying to stay out of this double play, and he does a good job doing that.
Brings up David Ross. David now 38. Fouls it back, and it's 0-1. Came up with the Dodgers in 2002. And on to San Diego and Cincinnati, Atlanta, Boston, and now looking like he's wrapping up his career with the Cubs. He's now 38.
Well, he's been a good guy in the clubhouse, good guy to handle pitching staffs.
A veteran presence on a young team.
Yep.
Literally and figuratively a graybeard.
And not afraid to pass his wisdom on. Not worried about teaching the younger guys. Could end up taking his job.
Well, the Cubs signed him to a 2-year deal with the understanding you're going to be our understudy, and he's embraced that role. Never been a great hitter, but he's been a very good catcher and has leadership presence.
Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised to see him on a managerial track after he retires, joining one of the many organizations he's been with, and then getting some experience in the minor leagues and working his way back to the show.
Yoshi Wada, the pitcher, batting 8th tonight, is on deck. So Joe Madden certainly not afraid to think out of the box, as Wada batting 8th. And Wada, oh, by the way, is not much of a hitter.
So getting him out of the way, having a second leadoff hitter and Addison Russell at the bottom of his order now.
Oral, did you ever bat 8th in your career?
Can't remember batting 8th. Probably petitioned for it.
All right, so what are the pros and cons of a pitcher batting 8th or not?
Well, the cons are he comes up sooner. If he's not a good hitting pitcher, you got to deal with that. The pros are where they think, well, now you got a possibility of 2 type of leadoff hitters, and you have maybe your guy, one of your best hitters in the 2 hole. He might have a chance to have 2 guys on to knock him in.
And with Anthony Rizzo hitting second, so now you have a chance to have 2 guys in front of him. And this was really invented by Tony La Russa to get Albert. He wanted Albert Pujols to bat in the first inning, so he batted him 3rd, but he also then wanted more people on him second time around the order, 3rd time around the order, possibility of having people on before he came up, so he moved the pitcher to the 8 hole.
So basically, overly simplistic, you're batting 8th only once.
Exactly. And you're going to get hit for possibly if you're not pitching real well and the team's not out in front.
Ross down on strikes, has 3 strikeouts for Kershaw.
Clayton with his 3rd K. One's been on a slider, a fastball up, and this one he gets a fastball down. Seems like home plate umpire Jordan Baker, even though he is a huge man, likes the low strike tonight.
Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire, is the tallest umpire in the game. And Wada, nothing in 1.
You're talking about the pitcher hitting 8th. You know, for Madden, he's done that in every game this year, other than the interleague, where the pitcher's not hitting.
So looking at Wada statistically, 1 hit every blue moon. 1 for 27.
Wow.
Oh for 7, 4 punch outs this year. No balls and 2 strikes to Yoshi Wada.
1 for 27. Go bat 8th and face Clayton Kershaw.
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
Clayton will be definitely concentrating. In his last outing, one of the more frustrating things was giving up a hit to Wandy Rodriguez. And then 2 strikeouts after that. Ended up giving up a 2-out home run to Joey Gallo.
That is strikeout number 4 for Kershaw. Working on yet another double-digit strikeout game through 2. No score from Wrigley Field. During the Disneyland Resort Diamond Celebration, happening now with spectacular new entertainment and more. As we go to the third, Dodgers still looking for their first base runner, coming off that 10-2 trouncing of the Giants yesterday. We were talking before the game and the importance that you put on Kershaw's start here tonight.
I think there's a lot of places at the end of the season you look back and see where turning points are for the team or for an individual, and Clayton's one game above 500 individually. His ERA is now getting close to 3 at 3.29 before the game started, and I think it's kind of one of those hump games for him to fall back to 500, have the ERA go back up. It's a lot of external pressure around him about what kind of year is he going to have, and a lot of questions that he probably doesn't want to answer. But to go to 6-4, get the ERA down just barely over 3, have a really good game, start hunting the All-Star game again, possibly with the next 2 or 3 starts.
Well, to this point, he struck out 4, walked 1. Kike Hernandez drills one to left field. That is well hit, and that one is gone. A home run. Kike Hernandez giving Jimmy Rollins a night off. First at bat, cracks his 3rd home run of the year. Kershaw and the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead. A home run for Kike Hernandez.
Kike Hernandez sitting on the bench, watching the guys in front of him, recognizing that Wada has been attacking a lot of hitters with the fastball. He gets one that goes over the middle of the plate. It was a mistake, was supposed to be away, and he capitalizes on that and drives it to left field.
So Yoshi Wada gives up his 5th home run of the year.
Took nothing for granted out of the box. He ran so fast, didn't want to miss first base right there, so kind of omitted the high five to Davey Lopes.
A.J. Ellis takes a strike. So Hernandez with 3 home runs and 7 runs batted in. And the Dodgers with an early lead. A.J. Ellis at 175 has 11 hits in 63 at bats. Don Mattingly went out of the way early in the season to say that A.J. Ellis was not going to be Clayton Kershaw's personal catcher, except by and large he has been Clayton Kershaw's personal catcher. And a base hit into left field for A.J.
We're going to have a look at Kike's home run. Watch where the pitch is located. Right down the middle of the plate. It was at the bottom of the zone. And Kike puts a good swing on it. I want to see if they're going to go check out Wada right now.
Along with the interpreter and the trainer. Chris Bosio is out there. Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire, there to make sure that this is simply a medical meeting and nothing more.
With all the translation that has to go on, they've got to give them a little bit more time for the meeting. Make sure they get everything cleared up. Looks like they need Joe Madden out there. It might be an issue.
Left-hander Travis Wood is trotting out of the Cub dugout along with right-hander Justin Grimm. Chris Bosio is pointing to the bullpen.
Well, whoever it is, he'll have as long as he wants to warm up.
It's the lefty Travis Wood. Being stopped at the moment by Chris Bryant. And so here comes Wood. There goes Wada. Kershaw will be coming up. A run is in. 1 on. Bottom of the 3rd. And Tsuyoshi Wada is out of the game due to injury. What it is, we don't know. As soon as we do, we'll let you know. Coming right back. After Tsuyoshi Wada gave up a home run to Kike Hernandez beginning the third inning. Watching Wada go to his left shoulder. That would signal the beginning of the end. Chris Bosio would come out. Get Joe Madden out there for a second opinion after talking with the trainer through the interpreter. Wada is out, and you're looking at Travis Wood making his 19th appearance and his 12th out of the bullpen, originally with the Cincinnati Reds, and so he has as much time as he needs to get warm. And on this night, as hot and humid as it is, it won't take long, and it didn't.
Travis Wood has been in the Cubs rotation the last few years. Now been in the bullpen a little bit here. It also gotten some starts. So this is not a surprise for him, a shock to his system to come into a game like this, but has a lot of starter pedigree in him.
And the first batter he is facing is Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw 6 out of 32 on the year, 3 sacrifices. Punts it back to the box, and the throw to second, out at second, throw to first, double play. The bunt wasn't especially good. A.J. Ellis is not especially fast, and that was a tailor-made double play.
You're trying to get the ball to be deadened or have some backspin, but this bunt has top spin. That's why it reaches the mound so quickly for Wood. So you watch this ball bound out towards the mound, and really you know it's a bad bunt, not because of not getting A.J. Ellis over there, but Clayton doesn't even have time to get down to first, and he runs well.
So 2 out and nobody on. And Yasiel Puig is coming up. Puig busted a blister or a callus in his left hand in his first at bat. Turned out to be a bloody mess. He had to be bandaged up. Let's see how that impacts on his ability to hang on to the bat.
And you notice how it took Yasiel a little time to get into the batter's box coming up. Why was that? When you had your pitcher just run down the line so hard, it's going to take his time so Clayton could catch his breath.
Two balls and no strikes. Puig with 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in. That got a piece of Jordan Baker.
That's going to leave a mark.
Trying to convince himself it really doesn't hurt that much.
See his hand right there, his right hand exposed, and it gets him on
forearm.
Bicep. Oh, you're right, Omar. It's right there by the elbow and the forearm.
Smile through the pain. Baker, 33, 6'7", and 240 pounds. Now 3-1 to Puig. 2 out, a run in here in the 3rd inning. Travis Wood, the emergency reliever, as Yoshi Wada looked like his left shoulder went out on him. 3-2. Peterson on deck. For the Dodgers, this is game 25 of 34 in 34. They're 11-13 to this point, and beginning a 10-game road trip as Puig works out a walk. 4 here, 3 over the weekend in Miami, 3 next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in toasty Phoenix. And then finally on the 2nd day of July, the Dodgers have something I haven't seen in a while, a day off.
This has been a string of games where they've really, as everyday players, Don Mattingly has gotten them some rest here and there. All within the rules of the basic agreement as far as consecutive days played, but only a couple off days.
Peterson swings and misses. Then you throw into the mix the mess that we had in Denver. Getting home from that 4-game, 3-day span that featured snow, sleet, and freezing rain and hail at 6 o'clock in the morning. And of course the direct flight from San Diego to Texas by way of LAX. So it has not only been a tough grind for the Dodgers. Mother Nature has not been entirely kind either.
You think that'll be a workout day on the day off?
No.
Okay. You think if they had an event scheduled that day, they said we're going to cancel? Wow.
Peterson, a strikeout victim in his first at bat. You take a look. Some angry skies overhead. A 50-50 chance of rain tonight. Tomorrow's supposed to be okay. Wednesday, Thursday naturally are dicey. 1-0 on the Hernandez home run. We're in the top half of the 3rd. Jock with 18 home runs, 35 runs batted in. There goes Puig.
Not something we see very often as the Dodgers putting a runner in motion. 3-2 counts, and then a few guys attempting to steal here and there, but not straight steals like that was.
Well, down in the count. It's 1-2. Risk reward if he's gunned down. Peterson leads off the next inning, and if he makes it to second base, Puig's in scoring position. The Dodgers as a team have 14 stolen bases. Hamilton, Gordon, Polanco, Revere, and Blackman all have more stolen bases than the group of Dodgers this year. A.J. Pollock and Justin Upton have as many stolen bases as the 14 put together by the Dodgers. So they're going to keep Puig close. Yasiel has tried one stolen base and he was caught.
Let's see if he thinks about going first move now. There are a couple of throwovers.
Anthony Rizzo holding him on. Peterson works the count full.
Well, everyone knows 3-2, 2 out. Rizzo going to play behind Yasiel to cut down and improve the Cub defense a little bit.
So Puig will be off and running, but Wood steps off the rubber. Now the 3-2. We'll do it again.
David Ross right there letting his infielders know that he didn't see that pop up, and for them also to concentrate on where the ball is this time of night with the sky. He didn't see it at all.
Heavenly shades of night are falling. It's twilight time, which makes life miserable on the defenders on pop-ups and fly balls. Justin Turner is on deck. Outside. So Jock Peterson with his 50th walk.
Travis Wood comes in, gets the double play from Clayton Kershaw on the bunt attempt, but other than that, he's given a couple of free passes, and now he's got a very hot hitter to deal with in Justin Turner.
2 walks for the Dodgers tonight. The Dodgers lead the National League in having been walked. Now 251 times. One of the reasons why the Dodgers lead the league in on-base percentage. They've walked more than any other team. The Cubs have been struck out more than any other team. Now Turner takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Justin Turner has been red hot. He has rather enjoyed batting in the 3 spot. As he fouls it off to the right. Justin Turner yesterday, 5th inning.
High leg kick, high pitch, stays on it and just drives it to center field. Justin Turner's just been showing the power, the consistency all year long.
Home run that traveled 420 feet. His 9th of the year. And a home run in 4 of his last 6 games.
He does such a good job of relaxing in the big moments.
As a starter, he has hit safely in 22 consecutive games. Hitting .383, 22 for his last 60 in the month of June. His on-base percentage in June is over .400. As Clayton Kershaw gets ready to pitch the bottom half of the 3rd. 1st and 2nd. And now Puig is hung out to dry. He was so hung out to dry, David Ross practically couldn't believe it and double clutched. And then threw out Puig at 2nd base. Caught in no man's land. Yasiel Puig. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. 1-0 Dodgers after 2½. to see the sky light up with a spectacular 4th of July fireworks show presented by Cirque du Soleil's Curious. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. Addison Russell will lead it off for the Cubs and whaps it foul.
Oh, that was a long half inning. The Dodgers get 1 run. And you know how important this shutdown inning is. How hard is it for as a pitcher?
It's a little easier in these humid nights because you're looking for sometimes a place to get a blow. So you got your rest and you can stay loose because it's so warm. It's actually harder on the cold nights than it is the warm nights.
Russell, Fowler, and Rizzo will bat. Can we go back to Puig being thrown out by Ross and try to figure out what in the world, if anything, Puig was thinking about? You have the hottest hitter of the Dodgers at the plate in turn.
Nothing that makes baseball sense.
No, at first I thought was that pitch maybe close because he had 2 strikes on Turner and he was trying to read and try to get a great jump going, okay, that's in the strike zone. It's either he's got to swing or he's out. But that ball wasn't even in the strike zone and he was just hung out to dry, and who knows what he was thinking.
And David Ross didn't take the bait when he pump faked, because if he throws behind him, Puig was going to go to third, and he probably would have been safe there as far off as he was. But then the fake got him.
But was he if he was thinking about doing that on purpose to a veteran catcher, and this is the big leagues, bad timing for it.
Yeah. And that's why David Ross does what David Ross does for a living.
Right.
5 strikeouts now for Kershaw.
He's mixing his pitches very well. We've seen everything that he throws other than the changeup.
Dexter Fowler, a strikeout victim in his first at bat. So we figured going in that we'd see Kershaw with another double-digit strikeout performance just based on the recent history of Kershaw and the Cubs. And he's struck out 5 to this point through 2 1/3. Kershaw's averaging not quite 12 strikeouts for every 9 innings he pitches. The Cubs have been struck out 639 times this year, more than any other team in the league, averaging 9.5 strikeouts per game. Fowler with a base hit into right field. Second hit of the game off Kershaw.
Clayton got the width right. He just didn't get the height right. Going fastball away. Look where A.J. Ellis is sitting up, and see how the glove has to reach up. And Fowler does a nice job with his top hand getting on top of that ball, hitting the line drive.
Fowler, of course, with the Rockies and briefly with the Astros, and patrolling center field here at Wrigley Field. Anthony Rizzo, boy, has he been hot. 4 home runs in his last 5 games. He's had 3 consecutive multi-hit games. Single to right in his first at bat and takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Rizzo not too happy with that pitch right there, getting the high strike called on him in the left on left situation. And we saw the graphic there. He's hitting .408 against lefties this year.
Hit better than .380 on the Cubs' recently completed road trip. Into center field. And now Peterson slips and falls and still makes the catch. Now play back at first base. Not going to be the double play. But Jock Peterson, in his first visit to Wrigley Field, slips, falls, and still makes the catch.
Well, he goes back, getting a read on this ball, and then realizes he's got to come in, and you see how he just loses his footing. Yet his athleticism still able to make up for that and come up with a great catch. And Kershaw was well aware of it, said you might have a chance over there.
The 4 umpires are going out. Mattingly is over there at first base, where Dexter Fowler looks like he may have pulled up lame. Obviously, Fowler never saw it coming, but he's okay. That was not exactly a Reggie Jackson interference play.
No, he wasn't trying to intentionally do that. You know, the grass here at Wrigley gets, on these night games and even in the day games, gets real slippery with all the humidity. And that's what jocks out there. They've cut that dirt deeper around the bases at third and first because of that. They don't want the runners to be on the grass as long. Guys were slipping a lot, making their turns at first and third. So the field design, they've cut in and put more dirt area here too for better footing for the base runners.
Fowler at first base. He has stolen 11 out of 15. And Chris Bryant, who struck out in his first at bat. It's no balls and a strike. Starlin Castro is on deck. Kershaw and the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. No balls and 2 strikes to Chris Bryant. 8 home runs and 39 runs batted in. This is Bryant's 60th game. Just outside, and Kershaw thought he had strike 3.
A.J. Ellis even flinched, and A.J.'s closer than Clayton.
Now the 1-2 from Kershaw to Bryant. Breaking ball, smack to right. Back goes Puig. He's at the wall, and it is gone. A 2-run home run for Chris Bryant. His 9th of the year, and the Cubs take a 2-1 lead.
Well, the pitch where Clayton and A.J. thought they had Bryant punched out. The pitch before looks huge now. They come back with a breaking ball out of the window of the fastball they just missed with, but they leave it up out over the plate. First at bat, they pounded him in because they don't want him to extend his arms. This lazy breaking ball allows him to extend his arms. He hits it where it's pitched, doesn't try and pull it, and makes Clayton drop his head.
10th home run of the year given up by Kershaw, then popped to second base off the bat of Castro, and that's going to do it. So Bryant cracks his 9th home run of the year, and Kershaw wonders about that 0-2 pitch that would prolong the at-bat and lead to the Bryant home run. Chicago night, his 9th home run of the year, and they talk about this game being a game of inches.
It's just a quarter of an inch outside. I think right here we get to see the replay. Take a look at strike zone, and boy, it just misses Nomar.
It's a good pitch just off the, and then you come back and you just hang in. Chris Bryant does a good job staying back on this ball. And watch right here. Looks like looking for a fastball, adjusts to the breaking ball, still has enough weight and enough power to stay back and drive it to right field.
And so Bryant gives the Cubs a 2-1 lead. Justin Turner was left standing at the altar in the top half of the third with 2 on and 2 out. And Yasiel Puig was picked off by David Ross at second base. It'll be Turner, Gonzalez, and Kendrick. And Turner fouls it off to the right. It's 0-1.
It's that mistake-free baseball that we're looking for the Dodgers to play. Thinking about being playoff bound someday this year and thinking about beating good teams and good pitchers. A couple mistakes right there just turned this game in a hurry. Yasiel Puig getting picked off and Clayton hanging that breaking ball, and all of a sudden it's a completely different game. And that's kind of the feel that we get sometimes against the teams like the Giants, the teams like the Cardinals, some of the better pitchers around the league.
Turner bounces short in his first at bat and takes call strike 3. First out of the 4th. Adrian Gonzalez busted out of a slump yesterday, had 3 hits, including this 4th inning home run. It would be his 12th of the year that helped the Dodgers to their 10-2 romp over the Giants. And with that win, the Dodgers able to maintain a 1.5-game lead now. Giants are off. Host the Padres beginning tomorrow, and Gonzalez takes low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Gonzalez bounced to second in his first at bat. Takes a fastball on the outside edge, and it's 1-1.
You'd love to see the Dodger offense start to really function on an average basis every day instead of a very big score of a 10 or 11 runs and then, you know, starving for 2 or 3 days.
2 out. Gonzalez is 0 for 2. And that'll bring up Howie Kendrick. The Dodgers this year 27-13 at home, 12-18 on the road. 14 games over 500 at Dodger Stadium, where collectively they're hitting .267 and averaging about 4.5 runs per game. Mattingly's road record 6 under, and they're batting .247, 20 points fewer and not quite a run less per game. Kendrick's going to be thrown out by Castro, and the Dodgers go in order, coming across. After 3.5, Cubs 2 and the Dodgers 1. Is brought to you by the Dodge Challenger. With an EPA estimated 30 highway MPG, this car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com today. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. Clayton Kershaw, when he gave up that home run to Chris Bryant in the third, a 2-run shot, that was the 10th he gave up this year. All of last year, he gave up 9. So Kershaw down a run. Chris Denorfia leads off for the Cubs in the 4th. Denorfia, Caesar, and Ross. As Denorfia fouls it off to the right, it's 0-1. Well, the skies are clearing. There was about a 50-50 chance of thunderstorms here tonight. So far, so good. That's what we got. And so far, it's been rain-free. One ball, one strike to Denorfia. Wrigley Field now 102 years young. Been home to the Cubs for 100 years. And they did a lot of renovations that we've all heard about. The first time we've had a chance to look at them. Kendrick throws out Denorfia. They do not call that a scoreboard. What do they call that?
A video screen.
Because at Wrigley Field there is but one scoreboard. The Grand Poobah that is situated in center. And that ain't going nowhere.
And there will be no scores on the other 2 video screens. The only place you can find the score is out there in center field.
Matt Caesar's a hitter, and there's a new message board there in right.
Or on your phone.
You can find a score on your phone.
Yeah, just here or something.
You can do that in Botswana.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. Just letting you know.
But of course they had issues, of course, with the horrible winter weather they had here and trying to get Wrigley Field all together for opening day. They were a little bit late with that. They got the games in, of course, but not as planned. But now it looks spectacular. The walls aren't going anywhere either. A reminder to Mr. Puig and to Mr. Peterson in particular, try not running into them. They're just leaves.
The right field wall was reconstructed. That's why the ivy hasn't caught up out there in the right field corner where they put in the new video screen and a little patio area above that. 75 new seats out there. And then they added some rows to the bleachers in left field.
Over the middle, Kike Hernandez makes the play. Alana, how are you enjoying the new look Wrigley Field?
Well, it's nice down here field level, guys. That video board that you were talking about in left field, 3,990 square foot LED video board that opened on opening night on April 15th. It's 42 by 95, and it is composed of 40 separate LED panels. You're also talking about the other scoreboard, I guess, video board in right field. The new look Budweiser bleachers open to all the fans for the 2015 season. Just a lot of different renovations here, and as you guys mentioned, the Grand Poobah, as you called it, Charlie, that scoreboard remains the same in center field, but they completely changed the seating. They have a lot more seats now under the big video board in left field. You mentioned they didn't change the wall in left, but a lot of new electronic devices here at Wrigley as the old park becomes new again.
And Dodger Stadium, fans sometimes forget, it's the third oldest ballpark in Major League Baseball. It's got the largest paid attendance, or Into short left. Kike Hernandez takes charge, and that will end the inning. Dodger capacity 53,000, the largest in Major League Baseball. We go to the 5th, and the Cubs have a 2-1 lead. The Dodgers take on the Phillies, and help us celebrate the Dodgers all-time leader in stolen bases, Maury Wills. First 40,000 fans in attendance receive a Maury Wills bobblehead presented by New Balance. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. Just a wonderfully picturesque ballpark. Wrigley Field on the north side. Sun setting. Still a chance of rain, but right now the colors are spectacular. Lake Michigan, not much more than a mile from here. Got a ball upstairs and outside. 1 ball, no strikes to Scott Van Slyke. He'll be followed by Kike Hernandez and A.J. Ellis. Van Slyke tried to check a swing, went around, and it's 1-1. Van Slyke takes inside, 2-1. Van Slyke fouled out to David Ross in his first at-bats. Got the start tonight when Wada started for the Cubs, and he was gone in an inning and a third. He had cramping in his shoulder. Which means in a preliminary way, we'll check it out tomorrow, but he wasn't feeling good tonight. The 2-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Van Slyke. And so Travis Wood called on in an emergency, and so far he has held the Dodgers hitless. They got a couple of walks against him in the 3rd inning and couldn't do anything with him, and it was Yasiel Puig dancing off second base, picked off by catcher David Ross. It put an end to that mini rally. Van Slyke fouls it back.
And Travis Wood started the year in the rotation, got 7 starts, and then was transferred down to the bullpen. So as far as stretching him out and able to go deep into this game, he's got plenty of pitches and bullets in his arm.
Van Slyke fouls it off to the left.
This is a very odd light right now, the sky the way it is and the Wrigley Field lights the way they're hitting and taking over. It's like the beginning of the Wizard of Oz or something. Something's going to happen.
So tonight you've referenced Batman. Now the Wizard of Oz.
Charlie, we got in at 5 in the morning.
You may be onto something there.
You're on the plane with us.
You may be onto something.
You'll have your innings.
Van Slyke down on strikes. It's a second strikeout for Wood.
Charlie's Nomar is telling us to get the scores on our phone.
Kike Hernandez in his first at-bat of the night, his third home run of the year, gave the Dodgers an early 1-0 lead. It wouldn't last long because in the bottom of the third, Chris Bryant hit a 2-run home run, and that's the reason why the Cubs had their 2-1 lead. And the Dodgers with 4 home runs yesterday, now 92 on the year. And many of the Dodger runs, not quite half, have resulted from the long ball. So when they hit at least 1 home run this year, the Dodgers are 32-17.
We don't root against the home run, but that could be a component of something they want to look at when you talk about beating the better teams or beating the top pitchers in the league, because those are the people that don't give up home runs.
When you talk about, by contrast, they're 7-12 when they don't hit a home run. When you talk about those good teams, Cardinals have 17 wins without a home run.
Hernandez takes a 1-out walk. That's the 3rd walk given up by Wood. And one other note on all of that, what do those numbers mean? And sometimes we can just bury you with numbers. The Dodgers are just 6-17 against teams above 500. 33-14 against the teams that are below 500.
And the deeper we get into the season, the more significant that number is, because a team can move from under 500 to 500 to over 500 in a series if they're close to 500, and all of a sudden it changes our record against teams with records of 500 or above.
But the bottom line is, when you get into the playoffs, you're playing against teams above 500.
For sure.
Last year the Dodgers were 7 under 500 against teams that were over 500. Now, having said all that, the Dodgers are 39-31, a game and a half in front of San Francisco. Ellis fouls it back.
And have weathered an awful lot of injuries. 40% of your starting rotation with Ryu and Brandon McCarthy out. Kenley Jansen out at the beginning of the year.
For 6 weeks.
Yasiel Puig out for a significant amount of time.
Carl Crawford still out.
Still out. Scott Van Slyke out on the DL for a little bit. Peralta now back and activated.
In fact, activated today. Peralta is back in the bullpen. Daniel Colomb and Matt West were sent out. There's Peralta. Right next to Juan Nicasio. Ellis fouls it off to the right. 39-year-old Joel Peralta. It looks like Pedro Baez not far away. That big hard throwing right-hander. Peralta is really among the leaders on this team, especially in the bullpen. He is the guy. Talking there with Nicasio and Yimi Garcia. At 5 in the morning or whatever time it was when we finally got to the hotel last night, Peralta was there, and Justin Turner said, "How was your vacation? Where you been?" So the Dodgers thrilled to have their veteran right-hander back. 1 out, 1 on. The 3-2 to Ellis. Swung on and missed. And a strike him out, throw him out, double play, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. 3 strikeouts for Wood at the halfway point after 4.5. Cubs 2-1. Travis Wood, Addison Russell, and Dexter Fowler will hit for the Cubs against Clayton Kershaw, who to this point has struck out 5, walked 1, served up a 2-run home run to Chris Bryant in the 3rd. That's a difference in the game mentioned a bit earlier. For Kershaw, 66 pitches to this point, 42 for strikes. Gave up his 10th home run of the season, gave up 9 all of last year.
The last 2 to some young guys with big time power, big holes in their swings, but he's made mistakes. Joey Gallo, the Rangers, got the one with 2 outs off him after a no-out hit to their pitcher, and Clayton threw him an outstanding slider and then came back with another slider, but he hung the second one to the middle of the plate, and then the hanging curveball after the just missed fastball tonight to Bryant.
Wood got his money's worth and comes up empty.
I'll tell you what, when you're on the mound, you make one mistake, you give up 2 runs. If your offense gets you 5, 4, and you win, it's just a blemish. It's like, okay, it's just in your interviews, in your workouts, in your side work, and you're getting into the next start. It's not a big deal. If they lose this game 2-1, though, it's something that you hang your head on and you really grind on it.
All right, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours from now. What is it that's going through Kershaw's mind now, knowing that he has apparently very little wiggle room to play with?
He's feeling like he has to be perfect until the runs go up on the board on your side. When you're down, you are locking in on every pitch. The intensity of a pitch when you're 1 run down right now as a starting pitcher is much higher than when you're 1 run up or 3 runs up. Because the game could be in a balance every time you cock your arm.
So a little margin of error for Kershaw.
And offensively, you feel it. You feel the pressure. You put it more pressure on yourselves because you have your ace on the hill. You have Clayton Kershaw. You know what he's done. You know what he means to the team. So you're trying to get those runs on the board for him. And sometimes you can press a little too much and they don't come.
Wood down on strikes, and that's the 6th strikeout of the game for Kershaw, and it's the 1st out of the 5th inning. But it sounds like what both of you are saying, everybody's trying too hard.
Well, when you try really hard and you get it right, it's intensity.
Right.
And passion. When you try really hard and don't get it right and
You're
you don't
tight.
execute, you're tight and you're pressing and you're trying too hard. It's amazing how the results relate to the adjectives. Mariano Rivera, getting all those people out with the great invention of his cutter, was poised. If he was giving up hits, he would have been called lazy if he was giving up hits. Pedro Martinez, with his intensity and his fast mechanics and coming at the hitter and staring people down, and he would have been crazy if he didn't win games, but instead he's passionate and, you know, aggressive.
Two and 0 to Russell. A roller to Kike Hernandez. 2 out. So Kershaw's at 74 pitches to this point. 6 strikeouts and a walk. And down a run. So A.J. Ellis goes out to visit with Kershaw. Chris Coughlin is coming up to pinch hit for Dexter Fowler. We can only assume that Fowler, who was hitting the leg on a throwback to first base from Jock Peterson in the 3rd inning, took it in the wallet, and he was very uncomfortable from that point on. So that is merely the assumption as to why the left-handed hitting Coughlin is now batting for Dexter Fowler. So Joe Madden has lost 2 players to injury tonight. The starting pitcher, Tsuyoshi Wada, his left shoulder was cramping up. One ball, 2 strikes to Chris Coughlin. Coughlin came up with the Marlins back when they were Florida.
Leave it to Joe Madden to be slightly unconventional, sending up a left-hander, but also so on top of things that he knows that Clayton Kershaw has pitched worse to left-handed hitters this year as far as batting average, 227 to 216.
7th strikeout of the game for Kershaw, but then again the Cubs only have now but 2 players left on the bench, Montero and Baxter. 7 strikeouts for Kershaw. Fella on the right has moved from left field to center. And again, we can only assume that Fowler was injured on the throw. Trainer came out to see him. That was again back in the 3rd inning, and presumably it stiffened up. Now Kershaw fouls it off to the left, 0-1, and Clayton, angry with himself, thought he had a pitch to work with and fouled it off instead. Justin Grimm and James Russell are the relievers warming up down the left field line. 0-2 to Clayton Kershaw. Attempted to bunt in his first at bat in the 3rd inning, and he bunted into a double play. 6 for 33 on the year. Pretty good rip on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Puig on deck and Peterson to follow. Dodgers down 2-1. Kershaw down on strikes. Meanwhile, Travis Wood has come in and has struck out 4 batters. Yasiel Puig loves the first pitch, but when he falls behind in the count, he's toast.
Get him early. Never be successful swinging at the first pitch. Right?
You started swinging in the on deck circle.
I did.
Inside and low.
Even before that.
And no strikes.
You see a lot of guys now, I think, swinging more and more at the first pitch. Got to be ready when you step in the box. Have a plan. And if you're able to execute that plan on the first pitch, let it go.
Into center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. A bloody blister or not, Yasiel Puig is aboard with a 1-out single to center.
Well, Yasiel, that ball's on the outer half, able to extend those arms and stay on the ball. Drives it to center field. When he's going well, he's hitting it back up the middle or to right center.
Well, Madden had double barrel action going in the bullpen. The lefty James Russell is likely the one to be called upon because Jock Peterson is due to hit next. Travis Wood exits stage left. He was terrific for the Cubs out of the bullpen. Tying run aboard for Peterson. James Russell will attend to him when we come back. The 4th appearance of the young season. Began the year at AAA Iowa. And he'll be facing Jock Peterson. 1 out, 1 on in the 6th. Peterson has struck out and he has walked. And the Dodger offense except for the Hernandez home run and the Ellis single, and now the Puig single to center has been quiet. Lefty righty split. Peterson has actually done better against the lefties. All spring everybody was raising the question, can you hit lefties? There was never any doubt in his mind. He knew that he could, and he had, and he continues to.
Yeah, the speculation was that's when he was going to get his off days. Now they just have to find off days for him now because he's hitting off both.
He doesn't get a whole lot of off days.
I just wonder, where did that speculation come from? Is that just an assumption he can't hit lefties because he's left-handed?
Pretty much.
I mean, it's not like, was he getting pinch hit for down in the minors? You're not pinch hitting a guy. When a lefty comes in down there, he was successful down there. If he was getting pinch hit, I have a tough time believing you're going to call someone up if you have to do that. So this is where you give him time here to find out whether he struggles against him or not at this level.
This is the Dodgers' 71st game of the year, and for Peterson, his 70th. Jock with 18 home runs and 35 runs batted in. Puig leads from first. One ball and no strikes to Jock Peterson.
Well, Nomar, you talked about hitting on the first pitch. You are so right about your career. You hit 365 on the first pitch. Thou shall not pass was your motto.
Get it over with early. Let's go. Speed the game up. Come on.
62 first pitch home runs you had. Hard to pitch around a guy who's doing that.
Or what were you trying to do as a pitcher when you got up there?
When I had somebody like you, this first pitch hacker, I didn't mind it because I thought I had a chance to get it over with in a hurry as far as keeping the pitch count down.
One ball, no strikes. Peterson,
but besides facing someone like me, I'm just talking about pitchers always say, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get a header. Right.
Ahead.
Exactly.
And this generation that's trying to build pitch counts on starters especially, as a pitcher, I would be taking a larger section of the plate early in the count now, knowing there probably aren't going to be swinging.
Peterson, a strikeout and a walk. Fouls it off to the left.
But the first pitch fastball hitters during my career was not somebody I go, oh no, I got to be careful. I better throw a breaking ball, or I better maybe try and hit the edge. I always thought of it as he wants to start the bat. I want him to start the bat. I just want him to make weak contact. So I've got half the equation down and put the pitch in a place where it's hard to hit.
Chris Bosio on the phone to the bullpen. Justin Grimm had been warming.
You watch a young hitter take that breaking ball low and away right there, and that tells you he can hit lefties. In a 1-2 count, man on first, where you might want to roll over it a little bit with that big hole on the right side, and he's able to take that breaking ball.
His average better against left-handers, but he's got more power against right-handed pitching. Now the count is full.
I think we caught a break right there. This is a strike. Let's see what pitch track says. It's a little inside.
It's off the plate. Saw it from here. Pitcher's always trying to get it.
Pitcher's eyes.
Oh boy.
Who are you going to believe, me or your lion eyes?
Got to believe the umpire, I guess.
You have no choice. On 3-2. Can't imagine Puig is going anywhere. Ross has a terrific throwing arm. Peterson has been struck out 82 times this year. Russell from the belt. Look at the play by one Russell. To Castro. To Rizzo. That ends the inning. Jeff Russell with a big hand from Addison Russell. A double play. Peterson is done, and so are the Dodgers. Well rested tonight for one is Clayton Kershaw. Alana?
Well, Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke, who is going to be on the hill tomorrow for the Dodgers, came out early. They did not fly with the team plane as they normally would do. Obviously, with the starting pitcher, you want to keep them in their routine as much as possible. And the fact that the team got into the hotel about 5 a.m., Clayton and Zach both came early today to try to keep them on their routine as much as they possibly could. Guys, Clayton is so far 79 pitches through 5 innings.
50 of them for strikes. He has struck out 7, walked 1, and given up a 2-run home run to Chris Bryant due to bat second here in the 6th. But on the first pitch, A.J. Ellis can't find it. And there he is to save his bacon, his old buddy Clayton Kershaw. There is no more lonely a feeling, I imagine, no more than ball in the air. You know it's coming down, but you don't know where it is.
You are just, you feel lost. I mean, you saw right away. You see A.J. Ellis looking for it, looking down, can't see it. And that's a good job by A.J. He's letting you know early that he can't see it. But he didn't need to toss his mask. If you can't see it, get out of the way and hope somebody else does.
The delegate from Wisconsin said, help. One gone, and here's Chris Bryant. Takes outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. In the 3rd inning. We just lose some lights.
The thunder. We might have lost some lights.
And then there was some light. But not all of it. Now Joe Madden's going to call out to Jordan Baker saying, we can't see this Kershaw guy when it's fully illuminated. Now what do you expect us to do? Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire, 6'7" and 250 pounds. Now, Jerry Meals is going to talk with his young home plate umpire. All 4 umpires now are going to try and figure out, all right, what do we do next? Center field is particularly dark. Not that home plate is exactly illuminated.
Well, here at Wrigley, the lights only come from the left field line and the right field line.
And usually the backdrop into the stands behind home plate is always dark.
No outfield lights out there. No towers to block the roof seats and the vista.
So there's light, but just not enough of it.
It looks like only maybe, what, 10% of the lights went out? Maybe a little less.
Whoa, what happened? Now, we're still trying to figure it out. So where do we go from here? Now Don Mattingly.
I'll tell you, it's fun. It's interesting is they scored those 2 runs after that long inning. Prior to that, when Kershaw was sitting down there for a while, having to wait, they were able to capitalize on that. Here's another long delay.
Jerry Meals is the crew chief, so he's the boss.
I think the umpire just needs to go to the hitter and say, how many fingers do I have up? All right, if he gets them right, let's play.
It's easy for you to say that when you're sitting up here now,
exactly.
Isn't it?
Of course.
So this is a work in progress. That's Jerry Meals talking to Joe Madden.
It'd be interesting that if they have to shut down the whole light tower to reboot the whole system compared to can they reboot the lights that went out. Clayton's going to get a chance to throw some warm-up pitches. I hope this delay continues. He just doesn't hop up there on the mound and just get right back in the game.
You know, in a simpler time, lights were never an issue at Wrigley Field because there never were lights until 1988. And then Jack Brickhouse said, "Let there be light." "27 years ago. And wouldn't you know it, the first night there was supposed to be a night game here, the baseball gods would have none of it, and they rained it out. Harry Grossman was the fellow who said, "Let there be light." It was Jack Brickhouse, the longtime voice of the Cubs, who predated Harry Carey, and his famous expression, "Hey, hey," that was holding the microphone for him. That was in '88, when they played nothing but day games. And of course, Harry came along and became such an iconic personality in this town. Jack Brickhouse, Harry Carey. Meanwhile, a frustrated Clayton Kershaw, there's not much he can do. The four umpires are, I guess, asking one another, "You got an idea?" "Oh, you?" "I don't know." I guess we're going to continue to play in with less light. Jerry Meals is going to go over and talk to Joe Madden. And Kershaw's going to go back to work.
It'll be interesting that if they start it, is Joe Madden going to play under protest? And if the lights start to come on, then there is a slight advantage for the Dodgers where they get to play defense in a darker condition.
Well, granted, this is not exhibition baseball, but the Dodgers have certainly played in circumstances and fields where there is less light than this one.
Well, I can tell you this is way better light than most minor league parks. Yeah. Especially at the A-ball level.
In the meantime, the lights, can't say they went out, they kind of went out. I would say, what, about 25% of them? At 8:53, that's about 7 minutes ago. So Kershaw has been standing around doing nothing for the last 7 minutes. And then the lights flickered, and then what's going on here? Which is what about 40,000 fans have been wondering, and Joe Madden and Jerry Mills are wondering.
And Joe Madden has a couple different reasons for arguing right here. A, maybe he thinks he's going to lose the argument, but B, as long as he keeps Clayton Kershaw out there and not pitching, he feels like he's gaining an advantage, I'm sure.
Talk is cheap, huh?
He doesn't want to. Now he's gotten a second set of warm-up pitches out of Clayton. Now Clayton's standing around again. So he occupies Jerry's time some more. Clayton now down on one knee out at the mound after warming up. You never do that before you start anything competitive. Don Mattingly doesn't want to come out and argue because that's just going to extend having his pitcher wait some more also. The only way he wants to come out of that dugout right now is if he thinks it's going to make the game start quicker.
So 27 years ago, when they finally illuminated this place. Well, now the lights have become an issue for a different reason. They're not working quite properly enough. Clayton Kershaw, Orel said after his last start against the Rangers, that was the most frustrating outing of his career. Well, this one may be right up there too. And now Don Mattingly is coming out and saying, enough of the gamesmanship. We got to play this game. And Joe Madden did his best filibustering. He bought a little additional time.
The way this game's going, it could be the second most frustrating game Clayton has thrown. Down 2-1. Having to wait now for the lights. Had the delay before because of Wada's injury. Now Joe Madden pops out of the dugout again.
What more can he be saying?
He's going to officially file the protest.
Now Jordan Baker is going to go out and talk with Jerry Meals.
They're trying to find out how long it'll be until the lights come back on, I'm sure.
That was Theo Epstein on the cell phone.
Well, let's say this.
That's Billy Williams off to the left.
Can you get Clayton Kershaw out of the game if you're the Cubs? If you have, it takes a half hour to get these things back to full strength. All of a sudden, it's too long a delay. You turn this into a rain delay that's a light delay, and you might get Kershaw off the mound, and all of a sudden you're in the Dodger bullpen, and that's who they want to have their offense against.
Well, Jerry Meals, after meeting with his 3 umpires and Kershaw, now he's going back to Madden, and now Kershaw is letting Andy Fletcher hear it. And Fletcher saying, what am I supposed to do? Meanwhile, Joe Madden.
One of the players right there, Justin or Kiki, needs to take over the argument. Yeah. Keep Clayton in the game. Don't let Clayton get so. That's a protest. We just
game is under protest.
Big P.
Ten minutes ago, the lights flickered. And now Kershaw, that one warm-up toss you could throw and show that he threw it with anger. So the game is being played under protest by the Cubs, who are leading. And it's now 2 balls and no strikes to Chris Bryant. So for 10 minutes, Madden filibustered and did a pretty darn good job. And so then after the filibuster, he said, there's no period at the end of the sentence. It's an exclamation point. Oh, by the way, I'm protesting. Specifically why will be a curious explanation.
Well, he's in to his bullpen already, the Cubs and Joe Madden. So his bullpen pieces, his bullpen's in action. It's not a delay that's going to hurt his defense, his pitcher.
Oh, it's a good idea to delay as much as he can. The question is, what is the point of the protest? Why would, what is, under what basis is the protest? And now Kershaw has walked Bryant on 4 pitches.
Well, it's not unequal light, the protest. It's just on less light than they'd like to face Clayton Kershaw in.
And it all goes back. I think it's getting Kershaw standing out there waiting to get him out of his rhythm.
So the protest, it seems like it's nice wrapping paper. The package is that he bought 10 minutes of time that hurt Kershaw.
Well, anytime the winning team is also the protesting team, the protest is nullified.
Right. So I guess my point is the protest borders on frivolous because his accomplished goal, or the goal that was accomplished, was to delay Kershaw for 10 minutes, and he did. And about minute 8 or 9 into all of that, Clayton was really getting steam.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting, though. Dodgers come back, they're able to come back and win this. And then you'll see if that protest is upheld after that.
Then they would have no basis because they had the lead at the time this all happened. Castro swings and misses.
Well, it's not news because of the lights that the Cubs are swinging and missing right now. They strike out an awful lot. And we haven't seen a hitter flinch like he can't pick up the ball.
Yeah, they're not going to strike out anymore because of this. Cubs have averaged 9.5 strikeouts per game, most of any team in the National League, by a lot. Broken bat, slow roller to short. There's one, and that's all. No throw from Kendrick. Castro is going to beat it easily. Broken bat. There's 2 out.
Kike does a good job right here, just getting that lead runner. It's not easy because in your mind you're kind of thinking, okay, am I going to be able to get him? But also you're trying to pay attention to the jump he gets over there at first base, or do I just take the easy out at first?
Now DeNorfield. Who has walked and bounced to second. Chopper to third. Turner throws him out, and that ends the inning. Well, Kershaw was steamed. Now he can cool off. Cubs 2, Dodgers 1 after 6. In a moment, but first you can fill out your 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Dodgers.com/vote. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote up to 35 times at Dodgers.com/vote. So here's Pedro Strop, the 4th Cub pitcher of the night.
A lot of big arms come out of the Cubs bullpen, but they're still trying to find the strike zone, some of them, and some of them trying to pitch consistently. But as far as velocity, there's some big arms.
Strop follows Russell, who followed Wood, who followed Waddle. 2 balls and no strikes to Justin Turner. Turner might.
That's 95 coming up and in.
Yeah, and it's quicker up there, isn't it, Nomar?
Yep.
So that would be a close shave for Justin Turner. Gonzalez on deck and Kendrick to follow. 2-1. A solo home run for Kike Hernandez in the 3rd. And Turner with a fly ball to right to begin the 7th. And a 2-run home run for Chris Bryant in the bottom of the 3rd. And that's how he got to this place with 1 out in the top half of the 7th. Adrian Gonzalez coming up. Gonzalez with the 3 hits and the home run yesterday is 0 for 3, 0 for 2 tonight. Two balls and no strikes. Outside of the Hernandez home run, the Dodgers have not had a runner in scoring position tonight. Gonzalez went around. Andy Fletcher clinches his fist.
Nomar, did you ever hurt yourself on a check swing?
On a check swing? I don't think so.
No. A lot of the. Sometimes that's that hammock bone stuff that happens.
Yeah, that's when they have that. It hurts that hammock bone when they have that knob that goes in the way. Yasiel, I had it where that blister. But I didn't have my hand on the knob. I had it above it.
2-2 to Gonzalez. Now it's 3-2.
Adrian's got that baby finger wrapped down around the knob, it looks like. He's down there, not quite as far as Yasiel. Yasiel looked like the knob's almost in the palm of his hand.
That was Ethier's undoing when he had those blister issues over the years. Now he chokes up ever so slightly, Ethier does. Did he go around? No. It's going to be a walk. 1 out, 1 on for the Dodgers in the 7th.
The knobs nowadays are actually custom made for the guys, right? No,
you can have it made differently. You can sand them down a little bit. You can have it more of a knob. You can have it where it's kind of halfway where it tapers, so you can adjust it.
Yeah, when I was growing up, there was just one knob and one knob only, and guys started adjusting them with tape, putting different layers of tape and things on there.
Kendrick 0 for 2. The Dodgers trail 2-1. So we have an injury update on Dexter Fowler as Kendrick swings and misses. Back in the 3rd inning, Anthony Rizzo flied to center field. Peterson stumbled, made the catch. Fowler had to sprint back to first base. He had just singled. The throw to first base hit Fowler in the back of the leg, and he kind of stumbled into first base and apparently turned his ankle. So that is why Fowler is out of the game. And Tsuyoshi Wada, the Cubs starter, came out of the game after 26 pitches. His left shoulder was beginning to spasm on him, so they took him out in a hurry. Kendrick on 0-2, down on strikes. Now Andre Ethier is going to pinch hit for Scott Van Slyke. There's only one. Actually, there are no lefties left for Joe Madden tonight. Wada, the starter, came out. Wood came in. Then Russell came in and pitched 2/3 of an inning. So Ethier now can hit against righties. Against whom he's hitting .302. No balls and a strike to Andre Ethier.
A little weak swing right there was Andres. Going to try and ambush him. Sitting fastball, starting the bat. Got a breaking ball, just swing and miss at it. Stand up there. Live to fight another day.
1 ball, 1 strike to Andre Ethier. Nine home runs, 27 runs batted in. And it's 2-1.
There's another count where he might cheat fastball right here. Nomar in a 1-run game, 2 out.
I've seen Andre look for that pitch on the inner half, something he can turn on and drive.
Gonzalez leads from first. He walked. And Ethier now behind. Or at least all even, 2-2. But really 2-2, the hitter's behind. Pitcher still has 2 more balls to work with, and the hitter has but 1 strike. Kike Hernandez on deck. but he'll have to wait another inning. Stroke strikes out Kendrick, and then he strikes out Ethier. 7th inning stretch, and the Cubs cling to a 2-1 lead.
Someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
Harry Carey, of course, popularized the tradition of singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at the 7th inning stretch. The late, great, iconic voice of the Cubs. Andre Ethier has taken over in left field. And Matt Caesar is leading it off. The head football coach from Notre Dame, Brian Kelly, sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" tonight in the booth immediately to our right. He brought a cheat sheet with him. He brought a cheat sheet. He was reading the words. Of course, he's a football coach.
That's un-American.
Come on. Caesar with a fly ball to left field. Ethier going back, and it is gone. A home run. Hail Caesar. Matt Caesar with a home run, just called up today. His first of the year. And the Dodgers now trail 3-1. This is a Carl's Cam replay that Clayton Kershaw could live without. Kershaw has given up 11 home runs this year. More than he gave up all of last year.
Illegal throw with protest out right now. Cubs were ahead 2-1 when they protest. Now they're up 3-1. A player on their team has hit a home run. There's just no way the results of this game will affect that protest.
I got news for you. Last inning wasn't going to affect it either.
That's right.
In the meantime, no laughing matter for Kershaw and the Dodgers. They're down 2. David Ross is the hitter. If you're just joining us, half of the lights went out in the 6th inning. And for 10 minutes, Joe Madden thought of everything he could to buy time and kill time and get Kershaw off his game. So after the completion of 8 or 9 minutes of discussing it with crew chief Jerry Meals and home plate umpire Jordan Baker, buying about as much time as he could, he said, we're going to protest this thing too. They were leading at the time, and now they've got an additional run. Felt at the time it was a bit of a frivolous protest. All the lights are back on, by the way. But Madden's Cubs have a 3-1 lead, and it's a little bit darker on the Dodger side of the field at the moment than it is for the Cubs. Ross on 2-2 is down on strikes. That's the 8th strikeout for Kershaw.
The two things that hurt you as a pitcher as far as fatigue or when you start to get stiff, of course, number of pitches, but the number of times you get hot and cold. And that's what Joe Madden effectively did, is gave Clayton one more up and down by having that 10-minute delay.
I was wondering, can that, or like, did that carry into this inning as well, as even though he got out of it last inning?
Yes, exactly, because just the cumulative effect of one more time that he had to cool down and then warm back up.
Jonathan Herrera's pinch hitting.
For Clayton's body, it's the bottom of the 7th pitch count wise and inning wise, but really it's about the bottom of the 9th because he's had 2 delays, the long delay with Wada's injury and the light delay.
Is it a body issue or a mind issue at that point where he knows that the other guy is just killing time and there's nothing I can do about it?
Well, it's always a body issue because there is a workload and a stress to getting hot and cold, but I think it also that you do have the mental component of it.
Again, on a hot, humid night, we're here in the booth, we're freely perspiring. How appreciably does he physically cool off out there during that period of time?
He doesn't really cool off, but he's out there sweating. He's not taking on fluids. You know, it's strenuous. It doesn't seem strenuous to sit around, but when you're ready and you're hot and you're loose and you're competitive and you're locked in, and now you're down on one knee, resting, watching the opposing umpire talk with the umpires, then you get warm again, and then he starts another argument or discussion, and he holds you off another 3 minutes.
So Madden did what he set out to do. Herrera down on strikes. That's the 9th strikeout for Kershaw, 2 out.
Well, one more strikeout from Clayton, and he's going to join some elite company. He's already in his own world with the 3 Cy Youngs and the MVP, but this curveball is one of the pitches that has gotten his resume where it's at.
So with 2 out, Addison Russell. Russell is struck out and bounced to short. All the runs tonight on home runs. A solo blast for Kike Hernandez in the 3rd. A 2-run shot for Chris Bryant in the bottom of the 3rd. And Matt Caesar leads off the 7th with a home run to left. Adrian Gonzalez. That'll do it. But Matt Caesar will lead off home run. Clayton Kershaw is trailing 3-1 as we head to the 8th. Brought to you by Nissan. Get to Nissan's ride of your life for exciting performance and surprising offers. Shop ChooseNissan.com, and by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Use promo code BLUECREW for free entry. Clayton Kershaw is due to bat third here in the 8th. He's at 105 pitches. He is trailing 3-1. The bullpen, at least for the moment, is quiet. And wouldn't you know it, now it's starting to rain. Kike Hernandez has homered and provided the Dodgers their only run of the game. We've been expecting rain all night. It's not coming down real hard, but certainly noticeable. A.J. Ellis has been called back. Yasmani Grandal will pinch hit. Hector Rondon, a hard-throwing right-hander. Facing Hernandez, who fouls it back. Cub fans, if nothing else, come prepared.
Just got to find the armhole in that bag.
It's more important at this point to find the face hole.
I know. Turn it around.
There we go.
Please put your oxygen mask on before helping the person next to you.
Well, they've done it before. One out to third. One out in the 8th. They still haven't gotten it right.
Something about having that hat on with the bill facing forward is preventing that head hole from being big enough.
There we go. Here's Yasmani Grandal. What a day he had yesterday. They put the shift on for him yesterday, and he bunted for a base hit down the third base line. First time he had bunted for a base hit in his career. He had sacrificed over the course of his career maybe a dozen times. And then the next 2 at-bats, he hit home runs. So he beat the shift all 3 times. And as you see the rain coming down. Wasn't quite Carlton Fisk. Adam Libator, growing up in western Pennsylvania, he's used to pitching in lousy weather. Two and 2 to Grandal.
This ball came back an awful long way. I think the Dodgers might have caught a break. They sure did.
Grandal down on strikes, and the Dodgers are down to their final 4 outs.
This will be number 7, Alex Guerrero, pinch hitting.
Here's Guerrero to pinch hit. The 27-year-old rookie, Alex Guerrero, pinch hitting for Kershaw, who's been among the best pinch hitters in the game in this his rookie season. Lined right into the glove of Starlin Castro, and the Dodgers go quietly. Nothing across. We go to the bottom half of the 8th. Adam Lipitor coming in, and the Cubs will have the top of the order coming up. Are just waiting for their cue, which, based on what we're looking at now, it may not be before too long. Time now to take a look at the DraftKings game summary. How did we get to this point? Well, Clayton Kershaw pitched well tonight, but not well enough. Kike Hernandez gave the Dodgers a 1-0 lead in the 3rd, but Chris Bryant a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 3rd. And then in the 6th inning, a 10-minute rain delay. Actually, a light delay. The lights kind of half went out. Wada came out of the game early, and the Cubs are leading 3-1. So it is raining now. It just lightened up a little bit, but between innings, it was pouring. So here's Lipitor. And Chris Coghlan leading it off. Rizzo on deck, Bryant to follow. Well, here's an encouraging note. The big television station here in Chicago, WGN TV, has gone to live weather coverage. And I imagine it's not because it's really pretty out.
I think that's a good bet, Charlie. Let's just hope it misses Wrigley Field and the Dodgers can get a few runs.
So the Dodgers down 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers, 3 runs, 4 hits for the Cubs. All the runs on home runs. Anthony Rizzo on deck and Chris Bryant to follow. These two teams have been at war with one another since 1890. 125 years. Coghlan down on strikes. And in that time, they have played 2,065 games. Dodgers have won 1,038. The Cubs have won 1,027. When this rivalry began, there hadn't yet been a Wrigley Field. Jason Mott going to work in the Cub bullpen, the former Cardinal. Mott is celebrating his 33rd birthday today. Anthony Rizzo takes inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Rizzo 1 for 3. 15 home runs and 43 runs batted in. Rizzo with 4 home runs in his last 5 games and 3 consecutive games in which he's had 2 or more hits. Came from the Padres in the trade that sent Andrew Cashner to San Diego. Cubs are thrilled with the way things worked out. Into right center, Peterson calling off Puig. And now Chris Bryant in the 3rd inning after laying off a close 0-2 pitch, a hanging curveball, and Bryant with his 9th home run of the year, worthy of the Morongo slow-mo cam. So Bryant with 9 home runs and 41 runs batted in. Fouls it back. It's 0-1. Looking ahead to the Dodger 9th, it'll be the top of the order. Puig and Peterson and Turner. Dodgers trail 3-1. Libator delivers low and outside. Dodgers, by the way, made a couple of roster moves today. Joel Peralta off the disabled list. Ian Thomas called up. Matt West and Daniel Colomb were sent out. Pedro Baez not too far away. Fastball up and in. This is the first of a 10-game road trip for the Dodgers. And this is game 25 of 34 games in 34 days. Tough period of the schedule. Well hit to left field. And Chris Bryant is in his 2nd home run of the night. And the Cubs take a 4-1 lead.
Chris Bryant hit 7 home runs in his first 37 games when he busted on the scene up here in the big leagues. He had only hit 1 home run in his last 22 games. Now he's got 3 in his last 23 games. Dodgers have been trying to pound him in at times, just did not get the ball in there right there. Boy, he crushed that one, Nomar.
I mean, he extends those arms, shows off the power. You know, that first home run you were talking about, it snapped an 0 for 14 streak he was on. So I think you can say if he was in a minor slump, he's probably out of it by now and showing off that power.
So Adam Libator surrenders the home run. The first he's given up in his career. Jimmy Garcia on the pitch. Is in attendance Wednesday, July 8th, when the Dodgers host the Phillies and receive your very own Hello Kitty plush presented by Time Warner Cable. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. Dodgers down 4-1. Yimi Garcia is in. A slider down and away. 1 ball, no strikes to Starlin Castro. So unless the Dodgers come up with some 9th inning magic, Kershaw will drop to 5-5, and the Dodgers will drop to 39-32. And Chris Bryant, his first 2 home run game in the big leagues. Castro is 0 for 3. The road has not been a pleasant place to be for the Dodgers this year, coming into the game 12-18. On the road, Mattingly's team is hitting 20 points lower than they are at home, averaging a half a run less. And they are down 4-1 in the first of this 10-game road trip. 10 games, 10 days. Behind second base, Peterson calling off Hernandez and Kendrick, and that's that. 1 run, 1 hit. The Bryant home run. Jason Mott celebrating his 33rd birthday. Dodgers need 3 to tie as we go to the 9th. By 76. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 5. Zach Greinke and Jason Hamill. Wednesday at 5, Mike Bolsinger and Kyle Hendricks. Thursday, the matinee, 11 o'clock in the morning, Carlos Frias and John Lester. And then the Dodgers will take their talents to South Beach. Jason Mott. The Dodgers have seen him a lot in the past when he was with the Cardinals. 17 strikeouts in 25 innings.
He's taking the place of Hector Rondon, who is kind of being moved out of that closer role, been inconsistent even though he has 12 saves. Mott only has 1 save, but he's getting the opportunity tonight.
Puig takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Yasiel Puig 1 for 2 and a walk. Peterson 0 for 2 and a walk. Turner 0 for 3. As Puig fouls it into the second deck. No balls and 2 strikes. Dodgers had a lead for a half an inning. Kike Hernandez a home run in the 3rd, but in the bottom of the 3rd, Chris Bryant hit the first of 2 home runs. It was a 2-run shot. Matt Caesar hit one. So 4-1 Cubs. All the runs tonight have scored by way of the home run. Everybody but Jordan Baker thought it was a strike.
Take a look here on pitch tracks. Just a bit outside.
Everybody was wrong except Jordan Baker. One and two, we begin the ninth, and the Dodgers trail by 3. Castro goes out 3. First out of the ninth. Well, the rain has let up. We're supposed to be okay tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday might be dicey. Well, the next 2 stops, Miami and Phoenix, we will have roofs over our heads. Peterson with a fly ball to center field. That's well hit. It's way back, and it is gone. A home run. Jock Peterson hits his 19th home run of the year. The Dodgers remain alive. It is 4-2. That was a rocket.
Well, Jock Peterson coming up, swinging first pitch, not waiting around, gets a ball right down the middle, slightly outer half, extends the arms and just drives it right to center field. That's just a pretty swing right there.
So the 8th inning home run for Bryant gives Mott and the Cubs some insurance to work with. Dodgers now to within 4-2. 19 home runs, 36 runs batted in for Jock Peterson. Turner 0 for 3. Gonzalez 0 for 2 and a walk on deck. The Dodger offense, which came alive in such a big way yesterday, 10 runs and 16 hits. Got the 3rd inning home run from Kike Hernandez. But until the home run by Peterson here in the 9th, the Dodgers had managed just 2 hits since that home run.
Jock Peterson on pace now to hit 45 home runs. Some kind of rookie pace.
But as terrific as he has been with the bat in his hand, what has really told his rookie season story has been the outstanding play he's had in center field.
And fans are umping with their hearts.
Don't they always? Into right. Hook right at Norfield. Dodgers down to their final out. So the Cubs are 1 out away from going 8 over 500. And the Dodgers 1 out away from 7 over 500. Adrian Gonzalez 0 for 3. After 0 for 2 and a walk, fouls it off to the right. It's 0-1.
Triple blast from Jock Peterson and Kike Hernandez. Some singles from Yasiel Puig and A.J. Ellis. And that's the grand total of the Dodger offense tonight.
No balls, 1 strike, and 2 out. Into center field. The Dodgers live to see another batter.
You just try to get the tying run to the plate. They accomplished that.
We talked about the Dodgers. We've seen this all year, that they do not give up. They're going to battle right to the end. Adrian Gonzalez does a good job on that one. Just not trying to pull it, not trying to hit a home run, just throwing it out there, taking what they're giving him. Gets that nice knock.
That's Justin Grimm. And Chris Bosio is going to come out and host a meeting with his pitcher Mott and the entire infield.
Justin Grimm just got up, and the catcher is just getting down for the very first pitch in the bullpen, so he is definitely not ready. And this is just a small delay. Have Jason Mott reboot his computer and also get the bullpen ready if needed.
Grimm had been up earlier in the day, or in the night. Back around the 6th inning when James Russell would come in. So Howie Kendrick, Dodgers down to their final out. He's the tying run at the plate, and Jason Mott deals. Foul back, and it's 0-1.
Very rarely will you see a swing like that out of Howie Kendrick.
Well, Howie Kendrick's going, okay, early in the count, I'm going to give myself one chance to see if I can tie this game up, and he does not get cheated on this swing. Oh, he just missed that.
Jason Mott's given up 2 home runs on the year. Howie Kendrick has hit 6 of them. So the 1-out home run for Peterson to center here in the 9th. The 2-out single to Gonzalez, who's at first. Kendrick right side. Russell picks it up. That's that. So the Cubs hang on and beat the Dodgers 4-2. The Dodger road trip gets off with a loss. And Chris Bryant was the Lexus player of the game. Why? 2 home runs, 1 in the 3rd. That was his 9th. And 1 in the 8th. Bryant with 2 home runs. Difference in the game as the Cubs beat the Dodgers 4-2. So that's a wrap for all of us from Chicago. For Alana Rizzo, Omar Garcia Parra, Oral Hershiser, and Charlie Steiner say good night and goodbye. We're going to send it back now to Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by